Get ready, because you're about to use a revolutionary new product, which is the secret to faster, safer, and more durable installations of thin porcelain tile panels. Say goodbye to traditional mortar and say hello to Bostik's new Bosti-Set. Bosti-Set is a one-component, non-sag, easy-to-trowel adhesive that comes packed with our Tenirex polymer technology for instant grab and holding power, plus our thickness control spacer technology to always give your jobs a consistent thickness of adhesive between the tile and the substrate. First, you need to read and understand the manufacturer's technical data sheet for the thin porcelain tile you're installing, and also refer to the Tile Council of North America and American National Standards Institute for industry standards. Bostik strongly recommends using only professional contractors trained for thin porcelain tile panels when using Bosti-Set. We also recommend you use the following equipment: a 1/2 inch by 15/32 inch V-notch trowel, Euro notch trowel, or a 3/8 inch slant notch trowel, lippage control device, pail scoop, bead-in paddle, or rubber grout float. Do not use rubber mallets or traditional 2x4 bead-in blocks to avoid damaging the thin porcelain tile. Before using your trowel, it's a good idea to cover the flat portions of the trowel blade, top and bottom, with duct tape or blue tape. After the job is done, it will make cleanup of the trowel easier. Simply remove the tape and clean the teeth of the trowel. Now that you have all the tools in place, the first step is to make sure the surface where you're applying the porcelain tile is completely clean, dry, and structurally sound. That means no dust, dirt, loose particles, rust, mill oil, or anything that would prevent the Bosti-Set from bonding. If the substrate is painted or coated, you need to scrape away any paint or loose coating. If it can't be scraped away, then you need to do a test to make sure the Bosti-Set will adhere. Areas that need patching or flattening must be done using a Portland cement-based material like Bostik Ultra Finish Pro, Webcrete 95, or Webcrete 98. Step 2. Just before you're about to set the thin porcelain tile, dampen the surface with water using a damp sponge or mister. The water cannot be dripping. By dampening the surface, you'll get a more consistent cure rate throughout the installation. Step 3. Open up the Bosti-Set container and remove any skin that may have formed on top. Next, a pail scoop may be helpful to remove the adhesive from the pail. Using one of the recommended trowels, it is only necessary to apply one layer of adhesive, and it may be easier to apply directly to the back of the thin porcelain tile panel. Start the application by scooping about half of a pail of adhesive on the middle of the panel. Trowel up and down the center of the panel. Add adhesive on the bottom flat of the trowel and wipe it on the top edge of the panel. Comb toward the center. Repeat this around the perimeter of the panel to minimize mess and gaps in coverage. Adhesive ridges on the thin porcelain tile panel back must be parallel to its shortest side. The results should be an adhesive layer approximately 1/8 inch thick. Please read this open time chart so you know how much time you have, because you cannot allow the adhesive to skin over prior to installation. Step 4. Use the proper equipment and technique as specified by the tile manufacturer for how to move and carefully align the panel into position. Use a rubber grout float or bead-in paddle down the center line of the tile to firmly set it in place. Do not set the edges of the tile at this time. Detach any equipment from the panel. Place lippage control straps along the edges. After placement of the control straps, use the float or paddle to work it from the center line of the thin porcelain tile outward to the edges to force air from behind and maximize adhesive coverage and transfer to the thin porcelain tile. Coverage should be greater than 80%, and it's not necessary to use a sander to vibrate the tile. Once you have two adjacent tiles in place and the grout joint spacing is set, assemble caps on lippage control devices and cinch down. Now, a plastic knife is your best friend to remove excess adhesive from the grout joint. If you need to remove any adhesive from the front of the tile, don't use water. Instead, it's best to use a dry cloth. Even after Bosti-Set cures, it'll be easy to remove by using a plastic scraper and dry non-abrasive towel. When the job is done, immediately clean all tools and equipment before Bosti-Set cures. Tear off the tape you put around your trowel and clean whatever adhesive is left with a towel and a mild solvent, like mineral spirits or acetone. Any leftover pails of Bosti-Set can be relidded. The material may keep for months depending on the amount of moisture that entered the pail when opened. Any skin that forms on top of the pail should be cut out and removed. Adhesive in paste form may still be used. Store relidded adhesive pails between 50 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now sit back as this industry-changing product goes to work. Let Bosti-Set cure for 8 to 12 hours before removing the lippage control devices. After 24 hours, you can begin the grout application. Follow the tile manufacturer's guidelines for grout type and joint size. Bostik has several recommended grouts to help your installation last. Nice job! You just finished a state-of-the-art installation, and we're happy Bosti-Set is now a time and money-saving part of your team.